Hello YouTubers, we are well and truly into the 2023 race season, and coming up this week is one of the biggest regattas in the British rowing race calendar, and that is the Metropolitan Regatta held at Dorney Lake. Right now, the draw is just about to be released, so we're going to find out who those athletes that will be racing next week will be. Turns out the draw was coming out a bit later, same day, just at night. So I will be racing hopefully Saturday and Sunday, and if we look at the draw here. Good, my name is there, fantastic, the entry has went through. I do recognise a good few, that's good to know. That's for the Saturday, it's a time trial, both afternoon races, so that's pretty cool. And let's check out the Sunday open singles. So it looks like there are less names for Sunday, a couple of different ones, but yeah, a good mix of people, so that means that I'm going to be able to have 4 races over the entire weekend, which is an amazing opportunity to have. I remember last time I did Met, I only did 1 day, so it's going to be really tough, and it's going to give me, an idea, racing the Saturday is going to be more entries, so an idea of, okay, this is where I stand versus those people, and I'll probably see them later in the season, and 2, it'll show me racing Saturday and racing Sunday is a big ask, so it'll give me a good idea of how I'm doing fitness-wise, how my recovery strategies are doing and all of that. So really good opportunity. Now, it is getting late, it's time to sleep because we're going into prep week for this regatta, which is only going to include 2 modalities. Lifting weights, and of course rowing on the water. Obviously a big part of any week, not just a preparation week before a regatta, is doing some high intensity pieces, and this week is no different, getting some pieces in, some 1Ks in preparation for the regatta this weekend, so let's get to it. Whoa, pretty hard session there, just doing 1Ks up and down the stretch, heart rate pushing really high, and I feel like the technique work is coming along nicely, but always stuff to work on. What I find most difficult about pieces here, especially when you're in the boat by yourself, not with other boats, is I don't know how fast I'm going. Obviously I'm working hard, but does that mean I'm going fast? Especially when you're on the river, you could be going so quickly one way, but that's because the river is moving really quickly. Or you could be going so slow the other way, but yes, the river may be pushing you slower, but relative to other boats, you might be going faster. So looking forward to this weekend to be able to compare, so do the same effort as I'm doing in the pieces and see where that puts me. And the reason for the 2 modalities this week as well, just the weights and getting out onto the water. Number 1, the weather is fantastic, getting as much time on the water as possible, especially because remember, rowing is a rowing sport, so we have to get out there and row as much as we can. And also, I'm in the middle of a big training block, so it doesn't mean that I'm going to just stop training or taper for this weekend. I've still got things to do later on in the year that I'll be targeting, so sticking to the big training block overall, the training plan that I've been sticking to anyway. So basically, it's a very similar week to what I would normally do, just with the latter stages of the week being a little bit lower in intensity. The weights themselves have changed though, versus the previous block. Previously, I was doing a lot of higher volume, higher weight work. In this block, I've been dropping the weight and the volume, but trying to push the range of motion. So almost dropping the ego at the door. And how we're doing that? Well, obviously the trusty trap bar deadlifts. Previous block, I was doing deadlifts with the bar flipped round, so much higher off the ground, and with a plate underneath, so much higher off the ground, which meant that yes, I might be able to lift more weight, but the range of motion not so great. So this block, bigger focus on mobility and hitting the proper ranges of motion, and then like I said, I'm in the middle of a big training block, so by the end of this training block, the idea is to be at the same weight, but lifting in a much better range of motion than I was doing in the previous block. So which is only going to benefit me going forward. And that is prep week complete. A good amount of training this week and really excited to get out on the water and race some side-by-side racing, of course, after the time trial. Now it's time to pack up the boat, put it on the roof of the ambulance and get to Metropolitan Regatta. So I will see you at Dorney Lake. Oh, you.